Welcome to the Northeast of America. My name is Brian. I want to share a little bit what makes our lobsters here, our American lobsters, so special. We're going to teach you a lot. We'll talk about traps, buoys, how we mark them, boys and girls of lobsters, how big they have to be, get into even kind of a little bit of the flavor and the different textures of shell you hear about. By the end of this, you'll be able to come on the boat with me and catch a lobster. Hope you enjoy. We're on a working boat and a working waterfront. You hear fellow boatmen in the background getting ready to go out to check their harvest. Here we have a delicious cold water lobster. It grows a little bit slower. It has the claws, unlike some that you might see with the spiny barbed antennas. Here we catch our lobsters individually. Individuals go out, use their small boats, their own traps. It's a day fishery, and we go and catch this delicious lobster for the rest of you. In fact, lobsters right here, we count for over 55% in the entire world. Our lobsters are Homarus americanus. What makes our lobsters so special here is it's a little colder. They're a little slower growing, but it ends up to make the difference in their meat. Their meat is sweet and delicious, tender, and we can get it to you all over the world. We don't farm any of them. They're all caught individual. Individuals like myself who have to go and get licensed, have to go and check each individual lobster to make sure that we're giving you guys the best possible product. And then we also have a ton of product for the future, which has been no problem here as we've been catching over 1 million pounds every year to provide the rest of the world. Here in the Northeast, our fishing is also generational. I mean, it's been going on for hundreds of years. Families have done this year after year to the next generation, So it's a big thing that not only do we want to be able to provide this delicious lobster we're able to catch, we want to make sure there's plenty of it for the future, for future generations to come. Myself, I am a first generation, unfortunately, but many of my friends have been doing this since they were 12 years old and beyond, working their way up, learning the steps of what makes a good fisherman here. I got into it at a younger age and I thoroughly enjoy it. Every morning I get to see the sun rise, go out there and catch a delicious product, bring it home. We take great pride in our product. We take great care in the way we handle it. We want to make sure that by the time it gets to you, it's the best product we can possibly give you. It's something that I can't give up. The smell in the air, seeing those lobsters come from the traps, it's the best thing I could ask for. I want to show you how a trap works. This is one of our lobster traps. Now, lobster traps, they're sitting out there in the ocean, slightly different rules where you come from. Where I'm from, I'm allowed 800 of these traps. So these traps will be sitting right there in the bottom of the ocean waiting for me to check. I have them marked with our own individual buoys. Everyone has their own color. So this is my colors. This will be floating at the top of the ocean, connected to a line, connected to my trap on the bottom of the ocean. So I go out there, I want to check my trap. Traps work like this. Lobsters, they smell bait. Bait's how we attract them in. This is our bait bag. Right here I put herring, pogie, some delicious, oily, smelly fish like that, because that's what the lobsters love. They smell that oil. So that's when to attract them into their trap. So lobsters smell that oil, they're gonna walk right up the ramp. They walk right in, they grab that bait bag, they eat right in the bag, right through there. They get a free meal. After their free meal, lobster falls down to the floor. They wanna go the easiest way possible. So rather than trying to jump and flip out, it's easier just to walk up the ramp, through the hoop, in the back where they're gonna be stuck. Now they're only stuck though if they're big enough to be kept or almost big enough to be kept. Smaller lobsters, baby lobsters, walk out escape vents. We have them built into our trap. By law, they have to be there. Lets the small ones crawl right out. So if you think of it that way, small lobsters look for traps. They walk in, they eat for free, and they walk right out, time and time again until they're big enough we get to harvest them. I also want you to know we do lose traps sometimes. Maybe a buoy gets run over, we lose a trap. I don't want to keep catching and killing things that go inside of it. So we have these rings on top. They're steel rings, biodegradable, designed to rust. So if I lost this trap, these rings would rust off, the flap floats right open, and the hole under it is big enough that anything inside my trap could get out of it. So a lost trap won't keep catching and killing things. It just becomes a free refuge for them to hide in if they wish to. Hopefully I get it back. Now, traps are the only way we catch lobsters here. Individuals with their own boats, their own small traps, there's no diving, there's no dragging or anything like that. You have to have a licensed trap and a licensed fisherman to go and catch our lobsters. That helps provide us with a great sustainable fishery and hopefully lobsters for the generations to come. I want to show you how we measure our lobsters here. Now the part of the lobster we're going to measure is called its carapace, back of the eye socket to where the back meets the tail. That distance, that length needs to be a minimum of 3¼ inches. Give you an idea, point to point, that's my measuring device. That's my 3¼ First point goes right behind the lobster's eye, in its eye socket. The second point, by my thumb here, has to land up on the back. Hits the back, long enough. Hits the tail, too small. This one, perfect, right up on the back. That means it's big enough we can keep it. Now for a lobster to make this legal minimum size, it actually takes them 7 years. So this lobster's at least 7 years old. So it's kind of great. All the small baby lobsters, they walk in our traps, they get a free meal, and they either walk right out or they're thrown back by us if they're too small. Only the big ones get to be kept. Now, we're not done by size though. After we check the size of a lobster, we also have to know if it's a boy or girl for a couple other reasons. The way we identify a male and a female lobster is underneath their tail. They have these flippers called swimmerets. The top two, they tell you the sex. This one, the top two are rigid rods. They have a little bit of an orange on the tip. They look like kind of praying hands. That's your boy. Rigid rod, orange tips, that's your male. On the female, same spot though, right underneath the tail, these little swimmerets. The top two, hers are soft, feathery. They slightly crisscross, kind of like an X. So soft, feathery, crisscross like an X, think an X chromosome, that's your female. Again, rigid rods, orange tips, that's your boy. Try to give them a little side by side so you can see the difference there. So again, the boy and then the girl. Now, boys, if you make the legal size, that's it. You're going somewhere all over the world to delicious plates everywhere. Female, not done. We have to check two more things on the female, because females give us babies. We want to make sure we have more lobsters for the future. So we have to protect certain females. And what I mean is, if we ever find a female and she has eggs, we throw her right back. But before we throw her back, we notch her. Let me back up a little bit. So the female, she'll make her eggs inside her tail, inside the back. You can't see them, they're internal inside of her tail. When she's ready though, she takes her eggs, passes them by her third leg, and mounds them on her tail as little black dots. She carries these dots outside of her tail, mounded over 10,000 on her first breeding cycle. It's roughly 9 months up to 12, depending on her size. The bigger she gets, the more and more eggs she carries every single time. In fact, she'll breed until the day she dies. But not all females can reproduce. So this is where we have to think about this. If we ever find a female and she has eggs, we want to throw her back. We want more for the future. But before we throw her back, we mark her as a breeder so that every lobsterman to catch her in the future would know she's capable of reproduction. The way we do that is her tail. They have 5 tail flippers. If we find a female with eggs, we take the second tail flipper from the right and we cut a V notch. It looks like a little scar, like a little V, right out of this tail flipper. That marks her as a breeding female. That protects her for life. Any lobsterman, anytime he catches a female, if she has that V notch, no questions asked, she goes right back. We've been doing that for a long time. Since 1933, actually, we started doing this around here to make sure we had more lobsters for the future for everyone to have. So now, besides that notch, every now and then a female, maybe she thinks by that she's capable of reproduction. It's not a perfect system. Imagine like this lobster. Maybe we just never caught her with eggs, so no one was able to provide her with her V notch. So she's legal, I can keep her, that's fine, but maybe when I go to eat her, I rip that tail open and I find the internal eggs. It looks like red most of the time. Roe, it does happen. Some will sneak by the system. It's not perfect, but it's saving a vast majority overall. If you get that roe, enjoy it. My grandfather, that's all he ever wanted was females because he liked to try to find the roe. Personally, I pass on that, but it's to whatever you like. So that notching, that obviously protects that female lobsters for future generations to come. So you imagine all these lobsters, individuals like myself, take their own boats out, checking their own traps, hand checking every single lobster that goes all over the world, individually, one by one, making sure they meet all the requirements so we can bring you the best product possible. And for all the future generations to come, they still have something to keep catching as well. Here to talk to you a little bit about lobsters in their shells. You hear a lot of terms, hard shell, new shell, firm shell. Kind of want to explain a little bit what that means and what we're talking about, what it means for you and the taste of the delicious lobster. So a lobster, like this one right here, will have its shell for about 1 year. For the year it has this shell, the shell's not getting longer, it's just getting thicker and thicker. So eventually the lobster shell gets so thick, so hard, it's like a baseball or a rock. Very hard, full of meat, hard shell lobster. To grow its length or size though, it needs to molt. That's a process where they split down the back and they actually wiggle out of this old hard shell. Everything you see here is left behind. A brand new shell is already developed underneath already. The new shell underneath is actually 10 to 20% bigger. So it's actually wrinkled like a raisin, delicate and soft. As it wiggles out, that new shell is so delicate, they kind of like to hide during this time. They'll actually hide eating their old shell. That time when they're hiding, they're eating their old shell, they're trying to gain new strength in their new shell, trying to thicken that new shell, because that's what they're going to do for the next year they have it. If you catch them in the summertime, spring and the summer, that's when they like to do this molting, the shedding process. That's when we're catching mostly new shell lobster. Delicious, sweet, tender meat inside, just delicate, just melts in your mouth kind of buttery taste. Now over the summer into the fall, they'll continue to thicken that shell and grow that meat, grow that protein inside their shell, filling it with more and more meat. In the fall, we tend to call them firm shell. So they're hard, but they're not crazy like a rock yet. They're not soft, they're kind of a firm shell. Easily shipped as well, good durable product, come almost self-contained. But if you want to talk about real self-contained, that's when we get to the hard shell of the winter. They're very, like we said, hard as a rock, very firm, almost pre-packaged for you. Gets right to your door, live and ready to go. The hard shell lobster, the meat is very good, also sweet, but a very robust, delicious flavor inside there too. Meat packed right up all the way inside the claw, so you're gonna get a great product. Now, any one of these products, we can get to you 12 months out of the year. Summer to the fall, you can grab these delicious lobsters. We can always make them to your door and always be a delicious treat for you, no matter what time of the year it is. We have them here for you. I want to thank you for letting me teach you as much as I can and to share these beautiful lobsters we have with you. It's something we take a lot of pride in. Generations before me and generations after me will continue to catch these and share these with the world. It's a delicious thing. We love to share our knowledge, our wealth, our pride, I guess you could really say, of it. It's individuals like myself and many other individuals. It's not huge companies, corporations, large boats. It's guys like me just going out there, small boats, small traps, checking each lobster by hand, making sure we can give you the best lobster possible. Enjoy it. Eat as much as you can, and thank you very much.